Hey guys, welcome to episode 25 of our weekly Super Smash Bros. Ultimate News Roundup. You know what, forget the intro, because we are 1 week away from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Can you guys believe that? 1 week away.
It's gone so fast.
Right?
Like, I don't even know where the time has gone.
How's that possible?
Yeah.
How are we already on episode 25? It just makes no sense.
That means 26 weeks ago, we barely knew anything about this game, which is crazy. And now we know everything. Almost everything.
Yeah, which is it's so completely different from the Smash 4 hype cycle.
It's so very different.
So different, yeah.
Quick gut check. How excited are you, all of you, right now for Smash Bros. Ultimate? Like, what's your hype at this very moment?
Oh man, my hype's like at 9.5, I would say. Like, the only reason it's not 10 is because, like, we already know all the characters going in, which
Right.
I get why they did it, but it does take away a bit of the surprise element going in.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I'm really excited just to get my hands on the game and try all these characters out, but yeah, I guess some of the surprise is just kind of missing. And it also doesn't help that people are playing the game right now, because obviously it leaked, which is a real shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it kind of takes away a bit of the excitement, because all of the hidden details are kind of out there now.
Yeah, it does kind of deflate things a bit, but I'd still put myself at a 9 because I want to play this myself, actually try these characters that we've seen for how long, and I've only had the chance to play it at E3, so it's been 6 months, 5 months really, since I've played it last, and I want to get my hands on it again. There's some characters I haven't tried that I want to try out again and, start kicking you guys' butt.
Well, speaking of characters, let's get right into it then. The day one being Sunday, we've got character overview for Diddy Kong. The description reads, Donkey Kong's trusty partner. Diddy Kong uses his lightweight and agility to get around quickly. For his final smash, Diddy takes to the air with his rocket barrel while firing his pop guns. The final hit is seriously powerful. And as usual, I pulled out a few keynotes here, or at least in Diddy's case, one keynote, and that's the fact that while, he has a multitude of changes, the one that stood out to me is the fact that the monkey flip now travels a shorter distance, which disappoints me, because that's my favorite key move, or my favorite troll move of Smash Bros. Wii U. And Brawl.
It is a lot of fun to use. I'm not, like, all that good with Diddy Kong, but I enjoy watching Diddy Kong mains. Like, Zero, the best Smash player in the world, does magical things with Diddy Kong, and he's so annoying to fight against, and I'm not that good with him, but he's a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, and Monkey Flip is anything if not magical.
It is. Because he just, like, lashes onto your face, and
He's a face hugger. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, so what do we think about Diddy being back? Of course, returning, he was also in Smash Bros. Brawl and Wii U before as well, so nothing particularly new, but what do you guys think about Diddy being here?
He looks really good. Like, his fur texture looks way better than Donkey Kong's. Donkey Kong's kind of looks a little bit plastic in a way.
Right.
Whereas Diddy's, this actually looks like fur, which is way better than his Wii U version.
It's like the upgrade from Donkey Kong Country to Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yeah.
Right.
He really does look a lot better. I would say it's funny. The only thing I don't like about Diddy being back has nothing to do with Diddy. I'm happy he's here, but we didn't get Dixie.
Yeah.
And that still stings. I was really, really hoping for Dixie Kong to get into Smash Ultimate. Even as an Echo, it didn't happen. So I love Diddy being back.
Still DLC.
That's true. There is DLC,
true.
but every time I look at Diddy, as happy as I am to have him here, I think of Dixie, and I'm a little sad.
I'm all for it. I mean, he looks great, and I've never really used Diddy a whole lot. He just never clicked with me in any real way. It's interesting that it's going to have that automatic final smash now rather than actually controlling his rocket barrel and firing the pop guns. It's going to be a little different, but I don't know if I've actually seen his final smash in action. I'm sure it's out there, I just haven't seen it. And I don't have a lot to say about Diddy because it's just a character I never really gravitated towards. I honestly use Donkey Kong a lot more.
I didn't really use Diddy in Brawl, but in Wii U, he's one of the more faster characters. And his up air is ridiculous. Like, it can literally just pummel people out of the ring instantly. It's one of the strongest moves in Smash 4, I think. And when Smash 4 came out, Diddy was basically like the top tier character at the time. I think they patched him out a bit, like they nerfed him as time went on, but he's still one of the best characters in that game.
Well, yeah, he had one of the original, like, crazy, super strong OP combos. I think they called it the hoo-ha. It was either the down throw into up air or up throw to up air. I can't remember offhand. But yeah, his up air used to be way too strong, and he got hit with a nerf bat. At least that move did early on in the Smash Wii U's patching history, which needed to happen, but it's still really good.
Yeah, I always thought Diddy was a fun character to have. I mean, he needed to be in Smash Brothers because I mean, he was our first true representation of Donkey Kong Country, really, that could be completely separate from any other canon. Obviously, Donkey Kong has some moves inspired by it as well, and the general look, at least on the character select screen, they never quite got his look right in the game itself. But Diddy, like, was fully, he started with Donkey Kong Country, so it was cool to get a character that fully embraced that game, and it's only now that we're getting another character from that series, being, King K. Rool, so...
Right. And Diddy's the first Western character in the game too. Like we have quite a few now. Like we have him and K. Rool, and I think that might be it. But
quite a few. We've doubled it.
Well, I guess Dark Samus.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah,
that's true.
Samus
That's
too.
true.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Diddy, or should we move on?
I just remember how hyped I was when he was first revealed for Brawl. Like, I actually remember that very clearly, because I agree with you. He always needed to be here as a representative of Donkey Kong Country specifically, and I always wanted him to be in, and then I was really excited when he got into Brawl in the Smash Dojo, and I was like, oh, I'm totally going to play him. I'm going to be really good with him, and I'm not that great with him. But he's still fun to have in the roster, and I enjoy having him here.
Diddy is a kind of a tricky character to use, I find.
He is.
Yeah,
he is. I can't use that banana peel for anything.
I was going to say, if you're good with banana peel, you can be an absolute monster out there.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, if you hated tripping a Brawl, you don't want to take on anyone who's good with Diddy, because it's that constant tripping fest.
Basically, yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to day 2, being Monday. We got character overview for Lucas. The description reads, like Ness, Lucas is a young boy who uses PSI powers. Some of their PSI moves share the same names, but since Lucas has different abilities, the moves may work differently. Be sure to try them out. For his final smash, he calls down a shower of meteors along with Kumatora and Boney. So, yeah, I like how Lucas now has way more appearances of Smash Brothers than anything else when it comes to North America, because we're still missing his game. No one has actually seen properly or officially where Lucas is from. So he really is better known now for Smash than he is anything else at this point.
Yeah, he really is. I love this character. I'm happy to have him back. He was one of my most hyped DLC moments in Smash 4. Like, I was really sad that he was cut from Brawl, or from Smash 4. And then when he was revealed as DLC for Smash 4, I was so happy to see him come back. And I play both Ness and Lucas for different reasons. I enjoy playing them both. I really enjoy, like, Lucas's different PK fire, how it just it's like a single shot as opposed to Ness's where it lingers and it hits multiple times. PK freeze is a lot of fun to use. I just really enjoy this character, and I play him a lot. His neutral air is really fun to nail every hit with.
Yeah, Lucas just feels a bit more powerful than Ness. There's more oomph to all his moves. Especially his smash attack. Like, his up smash is ridiculous.
Oh god,
yeah, it is.
It's one of the few circumstances where, like, I tend to play characters that I'm attached to personally. And in terms of Earthbound, I'm way more attached to Ness than I am for Lucas.
Right.
But I'd rather play as Lucas. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I think he's just a bit more energetic. Like, even that snake, it has, like, way more energy than anything that Ness has. And that snake, by the way, looks way better in Smash Ultimate than it did in Wii U. They've put some real, like, texture work into the scales for the snake.
It looks like he even emotes more now, too. Like every other character in the game,
Yeah.
so...
And not only that, I'm really liking the shading on Lucas's hair. Like, he just looks better in general. He doesn't look that different, but just, I guess, the game's lighting differences and shading differences. His hair looks better, and he just looks better in general.
Yeah, Lucas was one of my mains in Brawl. I just really enjoyed how he felt, and like I never really could get into Ness, but for whatever reason, Lucas was just a favorite of mine, and I think he was one of my top 5 characters in that game, and just really enjoyed playing with him. I think it was that up smash. Like, it could be a little tricky to hit, but if you did, man, you're gonna just knock them sky high, and it was wonderful. And I didn't really play much in Wii U, because I think by the time he did arrive as DLC, I was just like, okay, cool, I'll try him out for a little bit. Okay, that was a thing, and stuck to what I had built up at that point. But I am very glad to have him back, and I look forward to someday officially playing his game.
Yeah,
Maybe.
someday.
Oh,
Right, exactly.
someday, yeah.
Yeah, here's hoping. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to day 3, being Tuesday, where we got a few updates, starting off with a new music track, this time being Nintendo Switch Presentation 2017 Trailer BGM, oh that's a mouthful, from Zelda Breath of the Wild. Ash, of course, as a music guy, do you want to give us a quick rundown of this track?
Sure, let's do it. So this was rearranged by Ryo Nagamatsu, who is an in-house composer at Nintendo who joined the company way back in April 2006. He's worked on various games from the Wii era on, including Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Wii Play, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Nintendo Land, Zelda A Link Between Worlds and Triforce Heroes, Tank Troopers, and Splatoon 2. He also provided character voices for Super Mario Party. He's contributed 2 arrangements to Smash before, both of them coming from Smash 4, and they are Credits version 2 from the original Smash Bros., and the mashup of Ballad of the Goddess and Girahim's theme from Zelda Skyward Sword. And that last point is actually really interesting because when I heard this rearrangement of the Breath of the Wild trailer theme, it made me think of that exact of that mashup between the Ballad of the Goddess and Girahim's theme because of the heavy use of guitar. It's got kind of a rock angle to it. And what's funny is I kind of dislike them both for that reason. I wasn't a big fan of this.
Oh, thank God, it's not just me.
No, it's not just you. I'm not a big fan of this rearrangement, and I can't say I'm a big fan of the Girahim Ballad of the Goddess mashup either, so it doesn't really surprise me.
I love this arrangement, though. I think it's amazing. When we had the prospect of this song being in Smash, I didn't really know how they'd pull it off, because this song is basically in 3 different phases. I didn't know how they'd merge them all together, but they pulled it off, and I think it sounds great. I mean, obviously it doesn't sound quite the same as it does in the actual presentation trailer, but they've made it like really pumpy, and I think it's just great to battle to. So I'm on the Polar side. I love how this sounds in Smash.
I mean, I agree they did have to find a way to change it up and make it work a little better for Smash. And that's the thing. This is the song I picked for our Songs of Smash 2 series for Zelda. This is my pick. And it's kind of disappointing to me that I listen to this and be like, no, I like the original version better. Yeah, it's slower, but I like that build-up. I like that, like, real pumpiness to it. And maybe I need to just hear the full version of this. But this little clip, I'm just like, I'm not feeling this song at all. It's just not clicking with me. And I actually remember kind of enjoying the Ballad of the Goddess Girahim's theme mashup from the previous game. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I don't remember like disliking that song. And this one is just like, I don't hate it, but I need to hear more of it because I'm not sold on it yet.
Yeah, I really have nothing else to add to that. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of it either at this point, but I'm pretty sure I liked it when I heard it before, though, outside of the Smash context, so I should like it here. I don't know. I need to hear more of it in the actual game, dude, to say for sure, so.
I do think it's very funny that this song isn't in Breath of the Wild, but is in Smash.
Yeah, that's pretty funny,
So
actually.
weird.
That was pretty great. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to another music update. One that we've already kind of touched on before, because Nintendo decided to post a music reminder this week. This time for LifeLight, being the theme song to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But this time they mentioned that you can now listen to the Japanese version of the track on the website, which you could already do before as well. So I think we've touched on it before, but I guess we can go in a little bit more in depth, or maybe just more specifically. Which do you guys prefer, the Japanese version of LifeLight or the American version?
Oh man, that's really hard.
I think the lyrics flow better in the Japanese version, I think, but that might be because we can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it always sounds way more like meaningful and deep when you don't know what they're actually saying, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That's tough. I mean, I like them both for different reasons, but I might veer toward the Japanese version slightly. But I really do like both versions for different reasons.
I think I prefer the English version. Of course, I'm also the plebeian who prefers dubs over subs, but but yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I just connect with it more, enjoy it more. I can enjoy the lyrics more, and maybe it does sound a little bit better in Japanese, but I just generally prefer the English version.
Yeah, I like both. I think they're both really good. If I had to choose, I think I might prefer the English one for the same reason. I can understand it, but I also like the Japanese one. You know, if you put that aside, I like it just as much, I think. One thing that people may have noticed, or perhaps didn't, is I do use only the Japanese version in any of our discussions, because I think the fact you can't understand the lyrics actually means it doesn't conflict with what we're saying at all. So you're not trying to process 2 different things at once.
Right.
So unless you understand Japanese, then yeah, sorry, I can't help you.
That's a good point. Didn't it come out also that the singer is only 18 years old?
Really?
Well, she was 17 at the time of recording, the Japanese singer, Erina Koga. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense because there are, a lot of those women music groups are on the younger age. There. Not that, I don't know if they're using a singer, that's a well-known singer or anything, but...
I think she's an amateur. Like, she's kind of...
really?
She
Wow.
was featured on... Well, I'm going to get into this when we get to the column, but she was basically featured on a singing contest, and she's up and coming, and she just really impressed Sakurai.
That's awesome.
That is really cool, but it's also notable because a lot of people, even when I did the analysis, a lot of people was like, this is the same singer who did the opening theme song to the Kirby anime, and if this is a newcomer, an up-and-riser, and only 17 years old when they recorded this, that is not the case. So that is one less connection to Kirby between World of Light and Kirby.
That's a good point.
Touching on the English version really quick, I did look up some information about the English version's singer, Abby Trott, and Derek, you'll like this. She happens to be the voice of Maya Fey from Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. So
Oh,
I thought that
nice.
was kind of a cool connection. She's also done voices for Spider-Man, the recent game, as well as Halo Wars 2 and Fire Emblem Heroes and Nier Automata. So she's done a lot of work in the game industry prior to Smash Ultimate, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That's really awesome.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to the final update for the day, being a stage overview of, hopefully I pronounce this right, Suzaku Castle?
Suzaku Castle.
Ah, close
Yeah.
enough. I'll take it. All right, the description reads, this stage has a large platform on the right and two smaller ones on the left. Depending on your fighting style, you might prefer one over the other. The stage comes with music tracks for 16 characters. I like that it's almost like a rub at the Final Fantasy stage.
Right.
When the clock starts running out, or if your stock goes down to 1, the music may get more intense. So this is the stage that first appeared in Super Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS, of course, along with Ryu as a DLC component. Yeah, so it's back looking better than ever. I like how even... I mean, I love how it looks now. I liked how it looked before, but it has a richer colors I feel to it now almost, or maybe more subdued actually. So.
The clouds are completely different.
Yeah.
Like I love the shading, like from the light you see on the clouds. Like the clouds are completely dark in the Wii U version, but they look a lot better in the ultimate version. And it's funny, if you look at the 3DS version as well, it's like you're looking at 3 different interpretations of the same stage.
Like 3 different times a day almost.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Andre. I think the ultimate version does look by far the best.
And I think what's interesting as well is I think the assets between Wii U and Ultimate are actually shared here. I think this is all lighting that's different. And in Ultimate, it's like the sunset in the background sort of glows upon the entire stage. And if you look at the platform, it looks really dynamic. Whereas on Wii U, you have these very stiff shadows, and it just looks very artificial on Wii U. But yeah, in Ultimate, it's just sort of come to life with this sunset glow. And yeah, it looks way better. And as you just said, the 3DS version in comparison is just... it's so dark and dreary. Like, you don't even get that. You don't get that sunset at all. It's like the world's ending in the 3DS version.
The shadow work is definitely where it improved the most, and I really appreciate that for this. It's definitely a much more beautiful stage. And actually, I ended up really enjoying the stage because of how different the platforms are. You have a runoff on the one side, and then an actual few platforms you got to be pretty careful on. So either side is kind of dangerous, and I like that aspect. You can't be too safe on this, which you don't see too often on basic stages like this, because there's nothing really that much else going on with the stage. It's really just a platforms. It doesn't have crazy things happening like Street Fighter characters showing up as cameos in the same way as Dracula's Castle, for example. So I like how the stage itself is just interesting as far as how it's designed.
That's a good point, Derek, because in Street Fighter, stages are generally they're generally quite static. Like, there are background elements that move around, but they're not known for having dynamic elements that sort of interrupt the stage. So yeah, it's great to just sort of have just a stage with nothing really, no hazards going on to sort of interrupt the action.
I don't know how you manage it, John. You always manage to get to the points I'm going to bring up before I do. No, I mean, you're totally right. I'm guessing this is a stage as well, or a setting at least in Street Fighter, right? So
Right.
No, it's Ryu's stage in Street Fighter.
Right.
So yeah, which is it looks kind of different here though. It's weird. Like, even though it's the same stage in Street Fighter, it's almost like it's taking place in a different part of Suzaku Castle, whereas this is almost taking place on the outside looking in. It's kind of interesting the way they interpreted this stage for Smash.
yeah, and it is cool as you guys touched on. They capture the essence of Street Fighter with the right platform being a large, flat, barren area. Although interestingly, only one side of it is of course a walk-off, with the left side then leading to the smaller platforms.
Right.
So.
One thing I am really excited about for the ultimate version of this stage is I didn't realize how much music they'd added for this stage, because I've avoided the leaks. I haven't been going and looking at all the music leaks because I want to be surprised. And for 16 characters, I can only assume that means the entire cast of Super Street Fighter 2. So I assume that's what that means. And either way, though, that's really cool, because in Smash Wii U and 3DS, you had Ryu and Ken. You had Ryu's theme, Ken's theme, and remixes of both. And that's all you got, or mostly all you got. And they've added a ton of music to this stage, which is really cool.
What's really cool about Ryu's classic mode is when every single stage basically has a Street Fighter theme. So I assume every single level in classic mode is just going to have a different Street Fighter song playing. So yeah, those 16 tracks really do go quite far when you're doing classic mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to day 4, being Wednesday, where we got an assist trophy overview for Flies in Hand. The description reads, flies buzz around the stage, and a hand holding a fly swatter goes around swatting up a storm. Getting caught in the swat storm will cause severe damage, so think like a fly and run away. So this is, of course, taken right or directly from, presumably, Mario Paint, although it's reappeared in a few games over the years. Also as references to Mario Paint, such as in Super Mario Maker. And yeah, I mean, this is a callback to one of the, to a really fun minigame back then, which existed mostly to get you used to how to use a mouse, because that was kind of a new thing back then.
Yeah.
A lot of people had never used a mouse before, so it was to teach you how to use it to move the fly swatter around and swat the flies. So I kind of love now that it's used as a major hazard against the characters.
It's such a great idea. Like, along with Nikki from Swap Note and Captain from Animal Crossing, this is like one of my very favorite new assist trophies because it's a really deep cut. I have a lot of fond memories of Mario Paint. It's just a completely random, out of nowhere reference, but it works so well in the context of Smash. And it's just really cool to see a Mario Paint assist trophy at all.
And it also doesn't upset anybody. Like, a lot of assist trophies, people just sort of get upset, like Isaac could have been a character to some people, but no one's going to go like, oh, flies in hand? Oh, I wanted them to be playable. So it's great to have like these kind of assist trophies in there as well.
Funny you mention that, because the hand actually is technically a character, because whenever he got hit, you would see the face appear, and he'd scream out in pain as he died.
I remember that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've never actually played Mario Paint, but I'm familiar with this minigame, mainly just from pop culture over the years and people referencing it. So it's a fun callback, but I don't have any strong connections with it. But as far as an assist trophy itself, I like the idea of like just have to kind of stay away, and I like assist trophies that keep you on your feet and you have to move around and sort of change up tactics. Assist trophies where everybody has to sort of scatter are a lot of fun to me.
I mean, that's super fitting for what exactly this is anyway, right? A fly swatter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, and it telegraphs itself quite well too, because it doesn't just go around whacking everybody. There are small little flies that fly around the stage, and the swatter's just trying to get those flies, and if you end up like crossing paths with it, then obviously it's going to get you too. And I don't know if the flies chase you around or if they just fly around randomly, but either way, it's a great little way of just having this hazard that you can avoid, but it can just fly around the stage and completely miss you.
It still makes me wish that we had my wild idea of there being an assist trophy a playable assist trophy mode, where a player could hop in, play as the assist trophies, and in this case, it would use a pointer and point people to swat them.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Even better if you have compatibility with the SNES mouse.
Oh, hell
Even
yeah!
better,
oh,
yeah.
God, man, I'd buy that accessory just for that.
Totally.
All right, let's move on to not another blog update for the day. However, we did get another column from Sakurai and Famitsu. So, Ash, I believe you did the update for this. Do you want to give us a quick rundown of the highlights that came out of this column?
Yeah, let's do it. So, the first point, which is really exciting by itself, is that this is Sakurai's final column before the release of Smash Bros. Ultimate. So we're here. He mentioned that the main theme has lyrics this time because he felt he needed to use the power of song to stand apart from Smash 4's main theme. So take that as you will. I touched on this earlier, but the Japanese vocalist for LifeLight, Erin Koga, was only a 17-year-old amateur when she recorded this song, and Sakurai was really impressed, and he's looking forward to seeing what else she does with her career. And then he also talked about why Kirby is the sole survivor in World of Light, the adventure mode, in the when Galeem kills all the characters in the opening. And you might think it's because of Sakurai bias, but that's actually not it at all. Kirby was the only valid choice, Sakurai says, from a game design perspective and by process of elimination. And he says that all characters with normal abilities, whatever that means, were immediately disqualified in terms of being able to outrun Galeem.
Nice cover story there, Sakurai.
I know, right? And also, because Galeem's attack covered the entire galaxy, said character would need to be able to defy the laws of physics. And who can do that but Kirby? Kirby's Warp Star has been able to do that since the very first game. But what I find really interesting is he did talk about the only other two characters he felt could have survived Galeem's attack, being Palutena and Bayonetta. But they were disqualified because Bayonetta's enemies from Purgatorio, as well as other divine entities like Hades and Viridi, were all turned into spirits. So Sakurai didn't think it made sense for Bayonetta and Palutena themselves to be able to survive, which I can see why. And kind of going with the whole coincidence angle, the fact that when you read World of Light's Japanese name backwards, even though it results in Kirby of the Stars, that's actually just a coincidence. It is one that Sakurai noticed during development, but he says he didn't set out to write a story specifically about Kirby. He's only the first character you play, and he encourages players to switch to other fighters whenever they want. So it really sounds like Sakurai wasn't trying to write a Kirby story. Players will receive one random advanced spirit when they first boot up the game, which is kind of cool, and Sakurai says seeing which spirit you get is part of the fun. Finally, there will be a day one patch that owners of the physical version will need to download before they play, but digital version owners will not have to worry about this. And I guess one last little point is that you can save your replays as videos this time around and keep them forever, but saving them like this will naturally take up a lot of space. So a lot of stuff to get through there, but that's basically what he talked about.
Yeah, I mean, that's all cool and all, but let's talk about this Kirby thing for a second.
Yeah.
Kirby as a sole survivor, which is actually extremely fitting given the fact that we had our own discussion about who we thought was the most powerful character in Smash, going by their own games, going by their own canon in their own universe.
Right.
And I think we kind of all agreed, largely based on Derek's argument, that Kirby would in fact be the most powerful character.
Yeah, I think Kirby or Shulk. I'm kind of surprised Shulk wasn't in the running to survive Galeem's attack, just because his powers toward the end of his game get crazy. But beyond Shulk, I gotta say Kirby makes the most sense.
What's with these naked characters, naked Shulk, naked Kirby,
Yeah.
being the most powerful character?
Good point.
I'd say Kirby does make the most sense, but the scene was also written around Kirby. Like, they could have written it in a way where Galeem doesn't just, like, kill everybody in that way. Like, they could have had Mario jump into a pipe or something. But no, it was written to have Kirby escape in his star. So, whether I buy that Kirby was the only possible survivor, I don't think so.
That actually is a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, true, but I also think Kirby is he's right. Kirby, like, if you're looking at the three characters, if you're looking at logically as who could survive this, like Bayonetta, Palutena, and Kirby, and his example, Kirby is the easiest one to play. It's a little rough for newcomers to jump in and be playing as Bayonetta right away, and also just a little bit of an odd choice to have that kind of character, or even Palutena. Like, these are not characters you think of when you think Nintendo. Kirby is, and Mario is really the only other one I think. Mario or Link are the only other ones I think could really make it, but again, since they're going galaxy-wide here, mainly so they can get the characters from Star Fox and Metroid as spirits as well. I'm assuming that's the explanation for it. Kirby does make the most sense.
You know, I do love too, real quick, that even though this is an ensemble cast, obviously, Mario's still always been kind of the face of it. Like, he's always, he's had the most prominent place in the boxes typically, or even in the banner art, or on the box for Ultimate, for instance. It's for that reason that, like, I love that someone else got, the spotlight here. That it wasn't Mario for once. That Kirby got to, have his moment in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more. Kirby is personally my favorite Nintendo character by far, and it was so great to see him get that kind of nod of honor here. And Derek, you brought something up really quick that I wanted to go over. I missed this in my summary of the column, but Kirby was chosen from a game development standpoint as well because he's so easy to use compared to characters like Bayonetta and Palutena, which I do completely believe Sakurai there. The first character you play as in World of Light, especially for a beginner, needs to be a beginner character, and Kirby fits that bill.
Are you trying to undermine my victory in the IGN Smash Brothers Brawl tournament with
Oh,
Kirby?
man. You caught me. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
How dare you?
Yeah.
That is a good point though, Ash. Like, I think with beginners, a lot of people struggle to recover. Well, like, whenever I play Smash with people who don't generally play games, they usually can't grasp the third jump. Like, a double jump's fine. But when I say, like, press up and B at the same time, they go like, what? And then they just fall. But with Kirby, you have like 4 other jumps, so he's really easy to just get a great grasp of. So yeah, I do buy that. I don't necessarily buy the story reasons, but I do buy that Kirby's like the most successful character.
I see no bias here, other than my own.
Bias or not, though, I personally don't think there was. But even if there was, Sakurai's earned it. He's made us this game with 74 characters. He's gone through all the fans asking for impossible things. If he wants to put his character in the spotlight, I'm perfectly fine with that.
I do think kind of it's funny too how looking back now, where it did seem like there may have been that slight Kirby bias from Sakurai, but now if you're taking like from the later games, you would almost think he's a Fire Emblem bias than anything, right?
And Sakurai has nothing to do with Fire
No,
Emblem,
exactly.
so,
yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to day 5, being Thursday. We've got a character overview for Yoshi. The description reads, Yoshi is all about egg-related moves, like throwing eggs, swallowing opponents, and turning them into eggs, or turning into an egg and charging toward an opponent. With a high jump, recovery is a piece of cake for Yoshi. And for his final smash, a Yoshi army stampedes through the stage. So I've got a few other keynotes here, actually a few proper keynotes for Yoshi from Smash Wiki of some other changes that weren't touched on here. Such as the fact that Yoshi, like many other characters, now constantly faces the screen or faces the camera, which means he can throw with either his left or right arm, depending on which way he's facing. Yoshi has a new alternate costume now based on Yoshi's Crafted World, which looks fantastic. I love that fuzzy appearance he has
really
now.
good.
It does. The eggs from his egg throw now bounce on the ground before they break, which is good for me. I love that move.
Yeah.
And Yoshi, as the description touched on, has a new Final Smash, where instead of gaining the wings from Mario World and flying around and spitting fire, he now instead calls upon the Yoshi Stampede that first appeared in the beginning as Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is an awesome callback. I love that, because it was never actually in the game itself, it was just always part of the cutscene. I kind of love now that actually is a factor in the gameplay.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest references, like, for a new Final Smash in Ultimate, I thought. And that was one of the ones we had to wait the longest to see. Like, for the longest time, we were wondering, well, it can't be Super Dragon again, because that's not an automatic, you'd have to control Yoshi as he does that. And they could have done something like Pac-Man, where it's just an automatic thing. But I like this way more than Super Dragon. I think it's cool, it's a great reference, and I'm just happy to see Yoshi back in general. In terms of playing against him, I enjoy the character in general, but I have a buddy who mains Yoshi, and I'm always surprised by just how good his air game is, because his aerials are so good. You hit every hit of that flutter kick, and it's like 23 or 26% or something. It's crazy. That egg throw now bouncing, I hate that. Yoshi's so annoying to play against, but I do love the character, and I enjoy taking him out myself every once in a while.
Any character that annoys Ash is a favorite of mine.
I've only ever really used Yoshi for like home run contests and Melee because of that flutter kick was a good way to rack up the damage when I was younger. Actually playing as Yoshi, I've never really enjoyed it, and I know it's funny because they talk about how great his recovery is, and I'm like, no, his recovery sucks. Like, yeah, he has this high jump, but I missed that third jump. I remember the first time I played Yoshi in Melee and going for the third jump and he throws the egg inside, I'm like, what the heck is this? And dead. I've always... That's always just kind of annoyed me, and that's always why I've kind of stayed away from Yoshi as a character to really focus on. I enjoyed pulling him out every so often and seeing how I do, but he's definitely not a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's that jump, isn't it? It's like he's doing 3 jumps at once, and it's very hard to just do small little hops with Yoshi. So while he has great aerial game, it's also very hard to just land hits because of how high he jumps. So yeah, I've never really been that into Yoshi, but I do like the idea of his eggs bouncing though. Like, that's a great callback to Yoshi's Island. I guess it also gives you a bit more accuracy too, because you have a higher chance of them just sort of ricocheting around.
Which is also fitting for Yoshi's Island.
Right.
That was a big mechanic in the game, yeah.
It's funny where we are with Yoshi now, because I don't know if you guys remember, but back during the Smash 4 hype cycle, Sakurai made us wait a long time to find out if Yoshi was coming back, and of course, obviously you'd think, of course he's coming back, but there were some people who were like, is he getting cut? Like, what's going on with Yoshi? And then the excuse Sakurai used was, oh, we made some big changes. Yoshi now stands upright instead of, being hunched over, and that was the reason, apparently, it took them that long to reveal him. I just thought that was kind of a funny memory from the Smash 4 hype cycle, but it's great to see Yoshi back. After Kirby, he's probably my favorite Nintendo character, actually, so even though I'm not good with him, I don't use him that much, it's great to see him here, and he's a fun character.
And with that, we're at the end of the week, but we're not done yet, because we still have to answer one of the questions from you guys, where for just $1 a month, if you back us on Patreon, you can ask whatever question you want, or whatever questions you want, and we'll choose one each week and answer it right now. And this time it comes to us by way of Jeff Edelston, who asks, hey GX crew, it feels like ages since the original reveal of Smash Bros. Ultimate. We're so close. What has been your favorite moment over the past 6-month reveal process? A trailer? A comment from Sakurai? My personal favorite was the Castlevania reveal trailer, which happened to follow my birthday. So, hey, happy birthday, or a few months late, granted. Thanks for keeping this up leading up to the release, and happy smashing to all this holiday. So, thanks for the great question, Jeff. And I think I speak for everyone when I say the highlight of all of this, obviously, was the Grinch. For sure. By far,
God.
The best moment of Smash. No, I'm kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
Screw that, Jesus.
All right. I really was expecting you to just go, play it straight and say K. Rool, and then you said the
Come on, Andre, choose a better green character.
All right, well, fine. I'll just go in with mine then. Obviously, mine is King K. Rool.
Right.
That might be my most hyped moment, honestly, in Smash history that I can remember. That I was so like I've said before, if you watched like if we live streamed our reactions, we were so busy working, like you wouldn't see anything. It'd be us staring blankly at a monitor, occasionally yelling at someone at each other over the phone. But with King K. Rool, I legit lost my something.
Yeah,
I was freaking out, especially with how they teased you with the reveal with
So
it,
good.
with the King K. Rool silhouette. But it ends up being King Diddy, and he just starts laughing at you, which is Sakurai, of course, who voices the character, and then it turns into actually being King K. Rool. The whole thing was fantastic, so well done. I don't know if there's a character besides possibly Gino that could give me that hyped again. So that is my standout moment for Smash Bros. Ultimate over the entire cycle.
I would have to say that's a really close second for me. I'm not I thought the way that reveal happened with Sakurai trolling with King Dedede, I thought that was genius, and I loved the way the hype built up to the actual reveal of K. Rool. I like K. Rool. I'm happy he's here. I'm not like the massive K. Rool fan that you are, Andre, but it sounds like for you, your K. Rool moment was my Mega Man moment, which is awesome that you got to have that. For me, I would say just barely edging out the K. Rool reveal. That's a close second. But I gotta say, I think it's the initial Everyone Is Here trailer, like that initial reveal that everyone's coming back, and they go through all the numbers, and you see Ice Climbers, you see Snake, you see Wolf, and you're like, Young Link, Pichu, whoa, this is crazy. And I think just that, finding out that literally every character was back, was my favorite moment. Although I will say it was almost simultaneously my least favorite moment, because they made me wait till the very end to see Mega Man, and I knew he was there, but he still scared me. So, but yeah, I think that was my favorite moment, just that initial burst of everyone's back hype.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? Everyone is here apart from Mega Man.
Except
He's
Mega
gone.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Capcom let us have Ryu, but it said no to Mega Man.
Yeah.
I was going to say something really similar to you, Ash. My favorite reveal was Pichu. I think he really sells the "everyone is here" message. I think before that, Snake was the big, we brought Snake back. There's actually people who are coming back into this game. But Pichu is like, whoa, they're actually bringing everyone here. And then later on you see Young Link and Toon Link together. It's like, whoa, okay, absolutely everybody's been smashed in this game. But yeah, I'm absolutely with you there. But also, World of Light was a brilliant reveal. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone was really expecting it at that point, because that was our final Smash Direct. They sort of sold it where Spirits was just kind of this side mode, and we weren't really expecting any kind of adventure mode of any sort. But then right at the end, they just pull out this beautiful CG trailer with this long, giant world map, and it seems like there's so much going on in there. They played with our expectations a lot with that. They really ended that direct on a high note, and it just gave me this great impression of the single player of this game. Because single player was where I felt Smash 4 really fell flat. Like, when you think about Brawl, you think Subspace Emissary. Like, you might have spent hundreds of hours fighting, but the adventure mode, the thing you spend 10 hours with, is the thing you remember as its legacy. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Smash 4 has that legacy, whereas Ultimate Spirits probably is its legacy, or will be in the long run. So yeah, World of Light I think it's pretty impactful. So yeah, that's one of my favorite reveals.
I like the World of Light trailer, but it also brings back horror memories of putting together that analysis. So I'm not sure if I can put that up
It's too
there
fresh.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah, because that's looking to be an absolutely massive mode from the small bit that that I was able to analyze, and just seeing that, like, when I was going through and I got to the point where they just started pulling back the map farther and farther and farther, I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be huge. So that's something. I also agree with Andre. Like, I think the way the K. Rool reveal trailer was crafted is utterly brilliant. Between the direct callbacks to Donkey Kong Country with the eyes bulging out moments with DK and Diddy Kong, those are wonderful. The actual troll moment, of course, by Dedede, and then that song, like, oh, it just matches so well, and you got like, damn, this is a more intense showdown between DK and K. Rool than we ever had in the actual country games. Like, I want to see this. Like, bring him back for Tropical Freeze 2, and let's do this, and let's have that showdown. But I do have to give the edge and agree with Jeff here that I think the reveal that had the biggest impact on me is definitely the Simon and Richter reveal trailer. Seeing that confirmed, and this is a character I was like, okay, I'm kind of cool with. Like, I like the idea of Simon and Richter. That's neat. But then seeing him in action and seeing what it was capable of and seeing all the callbacks they were doing, like, you know what? I like Castlevania more than I thought, and I want to go back and play these games. So that's what started that whole streaming thing that I started, playing through all those, and that's been a blast. I love the fact that Smash was able to like reintroduced me to a series that I played a little of, but now I've played way more of and love it to death. And just the way that was structured with Luigi going through Castlevania itself, encountering all these monsters, that was brilliantly choreographed and set up. And like I was actually a little disappointed when I saw Luigi in a haunted hotel rather than a castle, because I'm like, damn it, I want to see him go through a castle now and see how he handles actual monsters. But yeah, as far as like that, getting Simon in there, having Richter pop out of nowhere because nobody expected Richter, and then just all the wonderful music and just as much time as they dedicated to that, like they really hyped me up for what this series could offer to Smash.
It's kind of crazy how efficient that trailer was, too, in announcing stuff we didn't even know was being announced, such as it basically confirming Luigi's Mansion 3, which we found out, I think, a month or two later, including his new Poltergust in the trailer. Right. And beyond that, too, it was our first hint, possibly, of Spirit Mode, because there was a big emphasis on, spirits of Luigi's spirit being ripped from its body, and and of course, there's a whole mode based around spirits in the game. So.
Yeah. On that note, that whole thing, like Luigi's spirit being ripped from his body, that led to a whole meme. Like, is Luigi okay? Like, he's died, and that followed Ridley impaling Mario and Mega Man. It's like characters are dying left and right, and so that led to a fun meme, I thought.
Where's your death stare now, Luigi?
Exactly.
Yeah. To this day, every time I fight death, I still get people in my chat saying, "Avenge Luigi."
Yeah.
Oh, no. Luigi deserves better.
My only sour memory with the whole Castlevania reveal, as much as I loved it, that trailer was so good. Richter was a great surprise.
The
spoiler.
Yep.
I really wish Nintendo hadn't screwed up and uploaded the Castlevania song the night before, thus spoiling the surprise. And I think a lot of people kind of made an educated guess that Castlevania was going to be here. But it would have been so much better if it hadn't been spoiled.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why King K. Rool worked so well, because no one that had not leaked it anywhere, I don't think, except for maybe the GameFAQs guy who leaked much of the roster.
Right.
But I think even at that point, no one had not everyone's putting 100% stock into him. So yeah, because the King K. Rool was a pretty big surprise.
Right.
I will say, looking back at all the trailers, I think Ridley's kind of my least favorite. Like, it is very predictable. As soon as it starts off, you can tell this is a Metroid vibe. And then you see Samus, and it's like, oh, this is going to be Ridley. And if you watch any reaction trailer, it doesn't take long for anyone to go like, oh, is this Ridley? Because you just kind of expect it at that point. And I wish they sort of hid him a bit more. Like, the King K. Rool's trailer played with the fact that they're adding K. Rool, whereas Ridley's trailer just throws him in there. Like, there's no real... They're not really exploring the world of Metroid like they do with Castlevania. They're just sort of throwing Ridley in at the end.
I think after what Sakurai went through with Ridley's reveal in Smash Bros. Wii U, with the shadow and everyone freaking out thinking he was actually going to be a playable character, maybe he's like, you know what, I'm going to play this one straight. I'm not giving him any hints. Straight up, he's there. He's a character now, so deal with it.
John, what you said about the reaction videos reminds me of something. One of my favorite parts of this whole hype cycle has to do with the Castlevania part and Simon and Richter's trailer. I watched so many reaction videos to Simon and Richter's trailer where you got all these people like showboating, oh yeah, Simon, I'm such a big Castlevania fan, hell yeah, this is what I wanted, my dream character. And then you get to Richter and they're like, wait, who's Richter? I don't understand. And they just got done talking about how big a Castlevania fan they are, and they're like, wait, Richter, I don't understand. And it was so obvious that they were Castlevania fans, kinda, but that they hadn't actually like really, really dug deep into the series.
I mean, even though we didn't get Rondo of Blood, he's still in Symphony of the Night, which is considered one of the best games. Like, you should know your Richter. Like, that's how I first discovered him. So, yeah, no, that is pretty funny to see. Although, John, as far as least hype trailer, for me, probably Isabelle, because that's not really a trailer meant to generate hype. It's like a nice little slow reveal. It's a slow reveal, which is fitting for Animal Crossing, but it's not going to be exciting.
Well, I guess she's borderline clone. Like, she's not an Echo, but she does borrow a lot of Villagers' moveset, and they seem to give those kind of characters like less of a spotlight. Like, Dark Samus and Chrom didn't really get proper reveal trailers. So I guess Isabelle's just kind of the in-between. But I like how none of us have said Piranha Plant as like the disappointment or the best moment. Because Piranha Plant was a great reveal in hindsight. But it's not my favorite moment of Smash, but it's one of the most fun moments, I think. Like, it's a moment that really made the community question this character. Because with all these additions to the roster, we're like, they're all great. They all make sense. Some of them are like we've been asking for years. No one's been asking for Piranha Plant though. Like, this is just a crazy character.
Yeah. Now, I do love, like, if you watch some of the reactions to it, people are just confused. Like, even when the splash screen appears, people are like, is this... I mean, I remember myself, I'm like, is this real? Like, is this legit?
I remember being really confused.
Yeah. But once I process my feelings, I'm like, this is awesome. I love this.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was thinking about some other standout moments. Yeah, just kind of on the side, but I really, really liked finding out that Smash Ultimate was gonna have 103 stages, and then right after that, or a little soon after that, 900 music tracks. Like, that was a really cool surprise, because we were all expecting more music, but not that much music.
Yeah, that's true. I'm surprised no one mentioned the initial reveal with Inkling.
That
was so good.
It was really good, yeah.
It
I mean,
was.
What was great about that is it came right off the heels of Octo Expansion. So it's like, is this still Splatoon?
That's
'Cause
right.
It was even, I think it was the Splatoon producer who was standing up there right after that trailer. And it felt like they were just doing more Splatoon stuff, and it was replicating the initial Splatoon debut trailer. And I was kind of thinking, like, are they remastering the first Splatoon or something? I didn't think that it was going to be Smash, like, right up until the end. That was a great reveal.
It was. I think, as much as I liked it, it had just too little information for me to, like, really, really dig into it. Like, as much as I really loved it, I wanted just a bit more than what it gave me. But seeing Inkling like that and having the Smash logo reflected in her eyes was really cool.
normally I'd agree because with the Metroid Prime 4 reveal, I'm like, that was nothing. That was nothing.
True.
But I felt satiated with a Smash one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I would have loved to have known more, but the way they revealed it, the confirmation of Inkling, and that kind of the what appeared to be now in hindsight hints of World of Light, I just loved it at the time. Like, that's all I needed to know. I'm like, all right, we got Smash on the way. We'll find out more soon, obviously. So I was content at that point. Whereas with Metroid Prime 4, I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna hear about this game for a while. And sure enough, we haven't. So
Yeah, that's the big difference. Metroid Prime 4 didn't tell us a thing. Whereas this Smash Ultimate trailer not only revealed a new character, but it gave us a date, and that date was the very same year.
which is nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a great point. Like, it's coming within 9 months of this trailer, which is ridiculous. And now we are 1 week away from that. So less than.
And one other thing I really liked retroactively looking back at the initial launch
Was that
trailer
fun?
was that oh man, well no, it's just that there's not even a hint of the whole "everyone is here" concept. In fact, it's more suggestive of the opposite because you see that those silhouettes and there aren't that many characters there, so it almost is suggestive of a reboot style. You could draw that conclusion. But either way, there's not even a hint of everyone from every Smash game is coming back. Like, you could never guess that, and I think that's really cool.
I mean, some thought it was a port of Smash for Wii U. Like, no one knew what this was. Or we knew that...
Some people still think that, John.
Yeah.
That's true, too. Yeah, all we knew was that there was Champion Link from Breath of the Wild and Inkling was in. Like, that's all we knew about this game.
That actually has a great point too. We didn't know about the Breath of the Wild link, which is a pretty big change as well. So that's why I really did feel like they gave me enough to chew on that I didn't feel that. I mean, not that I would ever feel they owed me more, but I felt. I was satisfied with what they gave us at the time. So.
Well, that was a really fun live analysis to do.
That was, yeah.
That was. It gave us like
analysis.
Yeah, it gave us an opportunity to do that kind of live analysis, and it was really fun.
Yeah, who's all here when it didn't end up mattering because everyone's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as a hype moment, but it's a fun moment with all these Smash announcements and whatnot, or just the hype cycle. The banner trailer. I thought that was a fun conclusion for having all the characters revealed, and that was obviously you had a lot of fun with it, Andre.
Oh god, I mean that ruined my productivity for the rest of the day. But I was just slamming music tracks into it. I'm like, let's see what works. And then I would like edit them too to work to fit just right in the case of some songs. That was a blast. And I still wonder whether that was intentional or not. Like if Nintendo knew it blew up as it did, with people adding their own music tracks to see what worked and what didn't. Because either way, it was brilliant in how it ended up being. With that just completely going viral and everyone just matching their own tracks to it. Just a lot of fun. That actually is one of my favorite days on the internet ever, I think. So. And with that, we're at the end of the week, so thank you so much for the great question, Jeff. And if you want to ask your own questions, again, you can back us on Patreon for just $1 a month, and ask us whatever you want about Smash Brothers, and we'll address it in that week's discussion, if we choose it, of course. And we only have 1 week left too, possibly, I guess. So, we'll see. I don't know. I think we have 1 week left, but maybe we'll keep going? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it just depends on the blog updates if they keep going past launch, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, so we'll see. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below, of course. And with that, thanks for watching. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for lots more on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, especially with the game coming out very soon, and lots more about Nintendo in general. We'll catch you later. Bye.